Hi and welcome to The Winning Factor. I'm Alan Aitken, and on this show each week we take a look at some upcoming races in Hong Kong and try to identify an element of the race that we might look back on later as having been a key ingredient to finding the winner. Well, the first race we're going to take a look at on Sunday is race 3, and our winning factor here, an unusual one, the field size. So this looks a competitive sort of a Class 2 with Beauty Smile looking for 3 wins straight. Another Beauty horse, Beauty Rush, getting back to his preferred distance. While there'll be plenty of fans, I think, for Joe Moreira's ride The Crown and for Winning Method from the red-hot Danny Shum yard. And as a little bit of a detour, I want to show you a Trainers Premiership with a difference here, and this is the Trainers Premiership since the turn of the year. So since December 31, this is the order if we used only those wins, and the front runner is obvious. John Size has been having a big time of it, making his mid-season surge, which is not unusual, but he is really putting the pedal to the metal this time, and he looks to have a big day ahead again on Sunday. But the one who might be flying under the radar a bit is Danny Shum. Now usually we see Shum out of the gates quickly at the start of the season with some good numbers, then he chips away consistently for the remainder of the year. But this time around, he's doing it a little bit differently and enjoying a terrific mid-season win streak. So back to our race 3, and I want to focus on 2 horses in this race, both looking for a change of luck. One of them is The Crown from the Casper Founds yard, and the other one, Winning Method from the Shum yard. Now first, race 427, the 14th of February, and you see The Crown in blue and white colours for Christophe Soumillon. Goes well back in the field from gate 14, but he did have something in his favour here. You see on the heat map a very strong second section which was going to assist horses running on, and Soumillon stays inside in the straight, does find some traffic up the inside, but gets home well into 5th placing. So not the best of luck there for The Crown, and he's obviously looking for a change of fortune on Sunday. And I'm going to show you some ill fortune too for Winning Method, but if we showed you all his recent bad luck runs, this would be a very long show indeed. So we're just going to show you one. This is his most recent race, and this is race 388 on January 24. An interesting replay to have, because you'll note the 4 leaders in this, Highly Proactive, and the beauties, Legacy, Rush and Smile, are all engaged again in this race on Sunday. Now the pace is quite good here without being fast, but we see Winning Method. He's in pale green and yellow colours, goes back from gate 11, and he's a touch keen, something that he does in his races which doesn't help his riders much. But you see him in the final stages of the race getting home well to finish 5th to Beauty Smile, who he meets again. And Winning Method's previous runs from gates 13, 13 and 9 over Sunday's course and distance were similarly unlucky. That little tendency he has to over-race means that his riders can't do anything positive on him to set him off early in the race. So he has to be gently handled, allowed to loiter out the back and run on. And it's been leaving him either wide or with too much to do in his races. But on Sunday, when we take a look at the map, there are a couple of things which might help him out. Now, as I mentioned, we again have those 4 leaders from the previous replay, but now you can also throw in another regulation front runner, Team Spirit. So we have quite a number of runners, despite the small field, pressing forward. And I think there could be a good competitive speed to this race, which may help Winning Method with his tendency to over-race. But it's also a field of only 9, so he shouldn't be as far away during the race. And I also think we'll see The Crown much closer in running too. But for me, the tip race 3 is Winning Method, is Winning Factor, the field size. I think that the good tempo is certainly going to help him, but we've seen in that replay he's got to give away big starts in full fields. The smaller field this time, he shouldn't be as far away and should be able to close off with a better result for a hot stable in town right now, Danny Shum. The other race I want to take a look at is race 10, the final event, and our winning factor here, the map. And I think there are three standout chances in this race. The lightly raced New Future, very unlucky in Class 4 last start. Regency Bobo, unreliable these days with his very shabby starts, but still very competitive in this class. And Silver Express, who put on such a show at his latest run. And I'm sure that the performance last start of John Si's trained Silver Express will be where everybody's thinking goes in this race. So we better take a look at that. And this is race 411. Now, you see on the heat map, not much pace, a sprint home. The first two dominated the race, and he's the grey in the purple colours outside the leader and eventual winner, My Sugar. And they settled down to a two-horse war in the straight, sprinting from about the 800 metres. But Silver Express, well, he was called Jolly Sailor in Australia, and it's more like Drunken Sailor here, wanting to run left to the outside fence and more than likely costing himself the victory, while the winner goes straight as an arrow along the rail. Interestingly, as Jolly Sailor in Australia, he did exactly the same thing, winning one day at Flemington in Melbourne, Silver Express, when he ran left to the inside fence. It's further to go to the outside fence here, but he does seem to like a rail. Now, as a result of that performance, John Si's took him back to the trial since, fitted him with blinkers, and he went gun barrel straight in the trial. So I guess the perception is that he'll go straight this time, and that will decide the race. But I've mentioned before that gear changes, as much as this one appeared necessary, do tend to be a little bit overrated in racing. And another one of my different alternative trainers tables here, we're going to have a look at a graphic. This is the gear change premiership since the start of last season. And this is a premiership of trainers using only the horses which have had gear changes. And the leaders here, Douglas White and Ricky Yu. And as you see, John Si's nowhere to be seen in the top 10. Now, I've mentioned previously that John Si's uses gear changes a lot less than other trainers in Hong Kong. If we ranked them in order of using gear changes, he would probably be close to last. But this gear change did appear necessary for Silver Express, and I guess that's what many people will look at as the deciding factor here. But I think there is a more important one. Let's take a look at the map. There are no leaders whatsoever in this race apart from Silver Express. Now, he was a leader in Australia. We saw him outside the lead in that race where he ran about. And I think that might be even more important than the blinkers. Now, New Future, unlucky last time from a wide gate coming from the back. Looks like he's going to be unlucky out there again. And Regency Bobo was once the most reliable beginner in Hong Kong. These days is a real trick at the start and more likely to stand there and miss it than he is to jump away cleanly. So the tip in race 10, Silver Express, his winning factor, the map. As I said, many people will look at the blinkers as being the decisive change for him here, but I think that dominance of the map over what I see as his two major rivals is going to be critical. He could run about and still win if they don't get any luck. Well, that's it for the winning factor this week. Enjoy Sunday's racing. We'll see you next time.